don't enjoy YouTube?
Just
being on it or watching it?
The app, just using the app on Android, not Android. What are you called? iOS.
The thing is, I have the same experience on on Android, because I'm not used to it. It's just because you're not used to it. You'll be fine. You'll get there. It's very touchscreenery, isn't it? Like back button and stuff.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us on this grim Tuesday here. It is grim, isn't it?
I actually no. It's depending on what part of the country you're in. It's either proper grim or you're living in a winter wonderland. Because if you are, I hate you.
It's supposed to be down this way on Thursday, Friday. It's supposed to be lows of -1 Celsius, Joe.
And I had snow on my app, but it's like on the same day that it's supposed to rain, so it's gonna be not proper.
Yeah.
Proper snow.
Yeah. I've picked a topic today. The main lights are off. I saw you looking. I picked a topic today that can get Joe talking a lot, right? Because I'm a mess at the moment. If this is like the COVID that you had, Joe, Jesus Christ. Because you're off for like a whole week, weren't you?
I prayed for death.
That was me on Thursday morning.
Yeah, I spent the first 3 days of having being deep in it, like in bed in the dark, no lights on, curtains closed, my tablet on, easel on my bed on full almost pitch black darkness because I couldn't have any light because it hurt my brain too much.
I was sat on the sofa on Thursday morning, basically sobbing.
Yeah,
I'll be open about it. I don't care. I take the piss all you want. I was basically sat there just in tears. And this is awful.
You're you got a fucking killer headache. You can't have light. You don't really feel like eating.
Everything aches.
Yeah, every joint in your body hurts. Yeah. You're sweating and shivering at the same time.
Yeah. Sweating and shivering was part of it.
Yeah.
Taste goes a bit, and then climbing, getting up to go to the toilet, I felt like I'd ran 3 marathons. Mm-hmm. It was awful.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful. Anyway, we're back with the Liam and Joe AoS show, mostly because as much as I wanted to be sat at home in my pants and continue painting my elves, I can't have more time off. Yeah. Otherwise, we won't have enough money for Christmas. So we're back! ! Gift, based on what I've just told you. And we're going to talk a little bit about AoS and Chaos. And actually, we're going to do, this is the AoS show, but we're actually going to compare it to 40k. So we all know, if you keep an eye on Warcom, that on Sunday, GW announced that this Saturday coming was the pre-orders for the new Slaves to Darkness battle tome for Age of Sigmar. And Chaos in Age of Sigmar is done differently to Chaos in Warhammer 40k. Now, the discussion I want to ask Joe about and probe him about today is which one does it better? So if we look at Age of Sigmar essentially has 5 main Chaos battle tomes that talk about the main 4 deities, if we ignore Skaven, right? You have a Slanesh tome, which is both human and demon form, a Khorne tome which does the same, a Tzeentch tome and a Nurgle tome, all of which do the same. They have a demon portion and a human portion. You can run either or you can run a mix. And then you have Slaves to Darkness, which is what's coming on Saturday, which is like Undivided, essentially, right? 40k, however, completely different. You have a Chaos Space Marine Codex, which is like Slaves to Darkness, sort of.
Yeah.
You then have World Eaters, Death Guard, Tzeentch, World Eaters, Death Guard, Thousand Suns, which is not quite the same because they don't get any demon stuff. You can ally them in, but you then need to buy the Demon Codex, which is an additional book.
Yeah.
Right?
Or index, but yeah.
Well, right. Additional set of rules.
Yeah.
And I think I would, because we haven't seen any Chaos yet this time round for 40k, with the exception of the main Chaos Space Marines, but we haven't seen any deity-specific stuff. Yeah. So I'm thinking about World Eaters as a World Eaters player, and I'm like, I want the World Eaters Codex to come out and be more like Blades of Khorne.
Oh yeah, so to start off with, I think, and I've thought this for the last 3 editions, that the 40k team just doesn't know what to do with Chaos.
You've said this loads.
Yeah.
To be fair, you've said this loads on stream.
And I said this before on stream before. I said the biggest problem that Chaos Space Marines have is that when a new edition comes out, the Space Marine Codex comes first. Right? And then we get the Chaos Space Marine one later in X amount of time. And the problem that the Games Workshop team, well, the 40k team specifically, go, Chaos Space Marines are a bit like Space Marines. So we're going to give them rules that are a bit like Space Marines. But at the same time, we can't give them the same rules that Space Marines have. So we'll have them kind of the same but different. But kind of the same but different always ends up being worse. Because Space Marines tend to get all the best things to begin with.
Yeah.
And then they have access to a lot less stuff at the same time. Because yes, they have access to more allies, but not necessarily as good allies as Space Marines get.
Do they have access to more allies?
So you've got Chaos Knights and Demons they have access to.
Yeah.
Where
But Imperium's Imperium.
Yeah, but Imperium doesn't. Imperium has Agents of
The Imperium.
Agents of Imperium,
Knights,
and that's pretty much it. Oh, and Titans. But
yeah,
then Chaos has
because
access to
10th
Titans.
edition has removed the ability to take Guardsmen alongside Space Marines.
Yeah.
But you could take Space Marines alongside Guardsmen with Agents of the Imperium.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it, right now?
But arguably, Chaos has access to better allies because they have access to the entire Demons Index.
That's fair, yeah.
But then you're limited to only 500 points. So the stuff that you could put into your Codex, into your army, aren't as good.
But it's also like the other thing that happens in that instance comparatively with Blades of Khorne. So I'm gonna cast my net out early. I'm gonna throw my vote in early. My personal preference is I think AoS does it better.
AoS, all right. AoS is a million times better. All right. I don't think that there is a comparison between the two.
So I look at Blades of Khorne. There was a moment in 40k history which I would like to call the golden times for me as a Chaos player personally.
Yeah.
Khorne Demonkin.
Oh, Demonkin was 6th edition though.
But the best I think they've done.
It was the best they've ever done.
Yeah, I think
by
so.
far.
So Demonkin for me was the best they've ever done for Chaos in 40k. Helps obviously I'm a Khorne player, right? So I was expected when we saw Khorne Demonkin, I thought of expected Slash Demonkin and Zeech Demonkin, and it never came.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't understand why they've just done it for Khorne. It seems like an odd choice. It did seem like an odd choice.
I think in Games Workshop size, Khorne's the most popular, so we'll only really push out Khorne Demons.
Which is evidenced by the combat patrol as well, right?
Yeah.
Which is just Khorne, essentially.
Yeah, but at the time, also, admittedly, and for the longest time, Khorne's always had access to more demon kits.
But when you take codexes like deep, so I personally think, and I'm sorry if you're a demons player out there, this isn't an attack. I think Codex Demons is a mistake, and there's a number of reasons, right? You end up with sometimes this weird mishmash looking army on the tabletop, and doesn't necessarily always work. I think we can probably assume in 10th edition they're going to end up with a Khorne detachment, and a Zeech detachment, a Nurgle detachment, a Celeste detachment, at which point you're then shoehorning yourself into a 25% of the Codex that you can take as units if you do go down that route. And moreover, I think when you then add those units, I want to have my core of Khorne Berserkers and Kharn surrounded by Bloodletters and Blood Crushers. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But they get none of the bonuses. They get no army work where they work together. No. This is where Demonkin was so good with the Blood Tithe points. This is where Blades of Khorne work so well, which is essentially Blood Tithe points. Blades of Khorne is like AoS. Blades of Khorne is AoS where Khorne Demonkin was a really fucking good book.
So what I love about the Blades of Khorne, and specifically Blades of Khorne, and the others have done it as well, but not as well, is that Blades of Khorne, you can run all humans, all demons, or a mix, and every single one works perfectly well.
Yep, agree.
Because there's 4 detachments.
Might not be optimized, but definitely works.
I don't know. There is an optimization for demons, I think, perfectly in there. Because there's 4 detachments. I think 2 are human, 1 is all demons, and 1 is cavalry based. But human and demons both have cavalry. And I can't remember how. Let's say there's 9 things. Let's say there's 8 things to choose from in the demon points tree or the blood tithe, right? I think only one of them can't be applied to demons units. So like everything in that book tailors towards demons as well, and they affect the demon units, and they're still super efficient. I do think bloodletters are way overcosted though in AoS. Overcosted. They're like 200 points for 10.
Yeah.
But when you stack all the buffs that they have access to, then they're worth 200.
But do you think so take the points out of it as a data sheet? I think they're also slightly. I just think that they get demons more right in AoS. They're a little bit more terrifying than they are in 40k.
Yeah.
Bloodletters in 40k are like, oh, some men with swords.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I think 40k they like damage 2. I think
they are. Yeah.
Whereas in AoS, I think they're damage 1. But in Blades of Khorne, they start with 2 attacks, but then you can just keep stacking attacks on top of them, and then they become really, really good. And it's the same for the Sinesh and the Maggot Kid. I find that obviously we haven't got Sinesh book yet. We don't know what's in the Sinesh book, but we haven't got a Sinesh book yet. But in the Sinesh AoS, it's like the army's full of what you'd expect: fast units, combat orientated, put out a lot of attacks with low damage, but can't take so much of a hit because they don't wear much armor. But their army mechanic isn't based around that. It's all about using what is Slaanesh, like luring your opponent, doing
the army
trades.
the army mechanic for Slaanesh.
Yeah.
I saw it used here when we did the Thames weekend on the combat patrol, Spearhead.
Yeah.
The army mechanic is one of my favourite things that they've done.
And I think that's really, really good. And if you look at like the Maggotkin, their units have got inbuilt resilience anyway. And then their army rule is about creating pestilence on the table, which then puts out mortal wounds and stuff. I find that like with the Death Guard, they've had really good iterations of Death Guard. And because Games Workshop do it at every edition, right? They go, we've got a really good rule here, but we've got a new edition, so we're going to change the rules for the sake of changing the rules. Like, no, you've got a good rule.
Yeah,
keep it a good rule. Just
Well,
don't touch it.
This will happen with Khorne.
Yeah.
So they had Blood Tithe with World Eaters in 9th edition. 10th edition comes, got rid of Blood Tithe, Blessings of the Blood God, random each turn. It's less narrative.
Yeah.
And the rule was fine before. Like, it wasn't broken before, it was good.
Yeah.
I don't know why you felt the need to change it. It's just different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why have you done that?
Because we think that the 3-year cycle is like stupid.
Yeah.
Like
It is
you
stupid.
don't have to change rules for the sake of changing rules.
The 3-year cycle is stupid.
Yeah. Like Space Marines for the last few editions have had Oath of Moment in all their codexes.
Yeah.
Everyone else is not just changed for the sake of changing. It's like, why keep some stuff but change other things? And I find that like current Death Guard now have got too many rules.
Do you think? So if we look at comparing, I'm going to put my legs up because I'm exhausted. If you look at comparing the two, like we did at the start, do you think 40k? Would you rather they added demons into all of the god-specific? So here's what I'm kind of weird here, right? So first of all, I want them to add all the demons into the god-specific codexes. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I also don't want Chaos Space Marines, however, to lose access to having some demons. For example, if you're running Black Legion, you should be able to take some demons.
I think what they need is that each legion. So of the four, when we say legion, we mean the 4 legions: Thousand Sons, Death Guard, Emperor's Children, and World Eaters. They should get access to demons, but I don't think they should get access to all of them, depending on how many models they have access to. Right? So, Khorne demons, Bloodletters, Skull Crushers, Hounds, Bloodthirster, Herald. Right? Because World Eaters already have a Demon Prince.
Yeah.
So you don't really need to include the Demon Prince in the 5.
What I'm getting at was So I think we both agree that you filter the chaos stuff into the.
Yeah, I think maybe you keep the name Demon Prince. So I feel like they still need to have a solo demons book as well.
That's what I was going to ask you.
I still feel because I really enjoy running solo demons, or mono demons, right? Because there's just loads of really cool stuff you can do. You can do monster mash that isn't Tyranids, and like I feel like there needs to be a place for Be'lakor.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Does Be'lakor go into?
Because Be'lakor doesn't fit anywhere.
Does he go into the CSM book then?
Yeah.
As an undivided demon with things like the Soul Grinder?
Or you need the Book of Be'lakor. So you have all the Slaanesh demons in the Slaanesh book, all the Nurgle demons in the Nurgle one, including Rotigus and Slimex and all that stuff. And then you have the Book of Be'lakor, which is Be'lakor and every demon unit that hasn't got a unique name.
Would you put all the god-specific ones in the Be'lakor book as well, though? With the exception of named characters?
Yeah, so you still have Bloodthirsters, you still have... Because then it means that you don't...
So you can still run mono demons?
Yeah, because you can run World Eaters without Angron, right? I assume you'd be able to run Emperor's Children without Fulgrim. So you can still run the Be'lakor book without Be'lakor.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's an interesting... It's almost like they need an Agents of the Imperium version for Chaos Demons, almost. I think that for me, GOAT 40k would be the same as it is now.
Yeah.
The same as it is now, but the this doesn't fit the simplified rhetoric either. But as it is now, whilst also adding mono god demons into the relevant Legion books. And then if you keep a Chaos Space Marine Codex, keep a Demons Codex, keep the fucking points value where Chaos Space Marines take 500 points of demons. But for Worldy, it's like you can't take 500 points of demons. They're in your book.
Yeah.
You don't need allies. You can take a knight.
Yeah.
You don't need allies.
Yeah.
And then you do end up having 2 data sheets for bloodletters. Now, for reference, I would have those data sheets exactly the same, barring a keyword.
Yeah.
Maybe. But the data sheets would be the same. So it's not like I'm saying it's not like the current iteration where you've got 3 Mauler Fiends and 3 different codexes, all with a different ability. I don't want that. No. I want them to have the same data sheet.
All the Demon Princes are different.
But what that allows you then to do is it allows you to tweak the points for, say, Bloodletters in World Eaters that might be stronger than Bloodletters in Chaos Demons, for example. And because of the keywords, it allows you to tweak the way that army mechanics work. And I think then you get closer to the Blades of Khorne, Head Knights of Slaanesh type build. And I think that's why I think AoS does Chaos better at the moment.
But yeah,
honestly. Well, I'll be interested to see what Slaves of Darkness brings on Saturday. But at the moment, I think it does it better.
I think they do. I think they do it really well. There was a time. Chaos 5th edition. Chaos 5th edition had the Siege of Terror campaign, not Siege of Terror, 38 Black Crusade.
Yeah.
Right, which then gave Space Marines access to lesser demons, greater demons. And it didn't matter what model you used because you had the 4 base, you had plague bearers and bloodletters, all the different types of stuff. So you could just put those in your army, and they all had the exact same stat line. And then you had greater demons, which were the
big chungus.
The big chungus, right? There's no reason why you couldn't go in each of the four legions, lesser demon infantry, lesser demon beast, greater demon, I don't know, chariots and cavalry.
Yeah.
And then you have a demon prince.
I get it.
Yeah.
But I think there's some identity loss there that I wouldn't necessarily
but then obviously because the problem is if you get rid of the Demon Codex.
I don't want to.
Right, but if the Games Workshop did, because that's what the people seem to think the Demon Codex is going. If you get rid of the Demon Codex.
Do they? Genuinely?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I've heard it floating in the ether. And if you get rid of the Demon Codex, where did Grey Knight stand? You've got an entire army dedicated to fighting demons, and then you're essentially diluting demons down to a point where they don't really exist.
I'd still rather demons were allies in various Legion books.
I want them to be in the Legion books. I want Death Guard to have access to Great Unclean Ones, Plague Bearers, and
I wouldn't get rid of the Demons Codex. I think I'd keep it. I'd keep giving people the opportunity to run mono demons.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that enjoy playing mono demons. It's one of the things you found recently that you're enjoying. I don't want to remove that from people. I don't want to remove the
their mechanics really, really good. The Shadow and the Warp, love it. I think it's really good. It's really thematic as they take over the table and stuff. It's like, I think like the demons that go in the Legion specific stuff should be good and they should benefit from your army rule. But when they're in a pure demon army, they work better.
Pop Grey Knights in the bin.
Yeah,
fucking right, Adam.
I honestly, I almost feel like Grey Knights should go back to being 0 to 1 choice in a Space Marine army.
Oh, a simpler time.
When they were like an elite, they've turned up to deal with a threat that's there, and you only get 1 squad.
Unpopular opinion, I sort of think that about Harlequins as well.
And Custodes.
And I love Harlequins. I love Harlequins, but I liked when they used to be a single unit in an Eldar Codex, that the Troop Master, Death Jester, Shadow Seer all became part of that one unit that you made, and you had a cast of players, because that's narratively how it fucking works. Anywho, Limey Panda, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, you absolute hero. I'm going to pick up on this right now because you've only had 5 so far, almost half an hour in. You're a legend. Where I'm trying to this isn't a woe is me moment. I'm not getting my violin out. I'm trying not to get my violin out. I woke up this morning at 5:15, Joe. No, that's a lie. I woke up this morning at 4 o'clock. I got out of bed at 5:15 and went downstairs because I couldn't go back to sleep because I was just choking on my own stuff, right? And I sat on the sofa. I was just like, and I said to Lisa, I almost cancelled the day.
Really?
But I can't afford to cancel the day. And I'm actually excited about Eddie being in tonight.
That's rare.
It is weird, I know, and it might be ruined once he's here. But at the moment, at least, I'm excited about Eddie being in tonight.
like it's when you go from like nice peace and quiet, and then you hear like nails down a chalkboard. You're like, oh, it's here. He's arrived.
Yeah. So thank you
feel it
so
in my
much, Limey
bones.
Panda, for the 5 gifted.
Yeah.
If any of you are feeling so compelled to support the streams today, I'd greatly appreciate it after taking 3 streams off last week, because that's a financial kick in the fucking nuts. But thank you so much, you legend, for 5 gifted. What do you hope for him, Jay? If you hope anything for him, do you hope something for him?
I hope next time. I hope forever in your life that when you buy crisps, you get more than half a bag. That's my fucking head in.
Yeah.
Why is it that they only do like half to a third of crisps in a bag of crisps now?
It seems like it's like a false economy for the packaging, doesn't it?
Yeah, we got those. What brand is that?
Kettles.
Kettle chips, right? With the multi bag, the big box of the multi bags.
We bought them from Costco for the Thanes weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe still gets
And
them.
they cut the cost. They cut the cost, but also the amount you get in the bag.
Yeah.
You open it and there's like a third, and you're like, oh, sadness. You feel like you have to eat 3 bags to feel like you've had enough.
I have on occasion had 2, yes, because I think like one's just not enough.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? But then we do eat too much in the West. We do eat too much. We do eat more than we probably should eat.
Yeah.
We eat portion sizes much bigger than, especially when you smash yourself a full Potatoes Brothers down your face. It's like serves 4.
Yeah. I have discovered a bit of cause and effect that if I eat too much, my hernia pokes out. And then I have to keep popping it back in. But when I do it,
like your penis.
but too high, you know, just flicking the tip. But like, I poke it back in, I'm like, makes me a little bit sick. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying not to milk it. Thank you for the 10 as well, Limey Panda, you're a hero. A 40k Chaos is hamstrung by having to try and be 4 legions, and then the generic Chaos stuff that tries to be distinct. AoS has 6 comparatively refined distinct groups that can deep dive into themes.
Yeah.
6 slaves.
The 4 slaves, rodents.
Oh, Skaven.
Skaven,
okay.
yeah.
So I often don't think about, because I'm trying to compare 40k with AoS, I often don't think about Skaven because they're a whole different Chaos entity.
Also, like when you look at things like Slaves to Darkness, so we're going to go off the index on this, right? Is that the comparable for slaves is Stormcast, much like Chaos Space Marines and normal Space Marines, right? When you put like the slave stuff on the table, you know that you're going to do really, really well, if not beat the Stormcast stuff, because you've got access to really fucking good units with really cool abilities and stuff. Whereas when you put Chaos Space Marines on the table versus normal Space Marines, you're like, it's going to be a rough ride.
Yeah.
Right? And I was sat comparing, because obviously we got a couple of events going forward, like comparing 40k Space Marine units to 40k Space Marine units, and the comparable units are just terrible. Right.
So, sorry, 40k to Chaos.
4K Chaos to Space Marine.
Right, okay,
normal Space
right.
Marine.
You said 40k Space Marine to 40k Space Marine. I was like...
No, 4K Space Marine
yeah.
to
so like
Chaos
a Chaos Predator versus a Space Marine.
so like,
Predator.
all that kind of stuff's fine, but it's when you get to like the elite units, like Chaos Space Marine Terminators are arguably better than normal 40k Space Marine Terminators, because you have access to mortal wound guns, and you've got access to the chaos packs, whereas normal Space Marines have. Actually, no, I said normal Space Marines because they've got better to Oath of Moment, right? The entire unit can take power fists. You're not hamstrung by that, but then the Chaos Space Marine ones do put out more damage, overall, because of the mortal wound guns, right? But then you go to things like Blade Guard compared to Chosen, right?
Yeah.
Same toughness, same wounds, same armor save, right? But Blade Guard have got a strength 5, -2 damage to weapon, and a 4-up invuln. Chosen, no invuln, a strength 5, -2, 1 damage weapon. Right? And you're like, so they're automatically a bit poo. And then you've got things like Possessed, right? Which are arguably weird in between Terminators and Blade Guard, but Blade Guard and Terminators are both better than Possessed.
Yeah.
Because Possessed have got a higher toughness, they're toughness 6. They've got 3 wounds, they've got a 3 up save, then they've got a 5 up invulnerable save.
Yeah.
And then in combat, they've got a damage 2 weapon, but it's only AP 1.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like they're like, and then obviously Space Marines.
Do you think it's this weird space in GW's head where they have to make Chaos different to Imperium? Right? Well, no, actually, one of the reasons why Blade Guard are so popular is because of their damage profile.
Yeah,
you can use that damage profile.
Yeah,
you can put that on Possessed.
We always take the piss out of Games Workshop because the only profile in the game is -2 damage 2, and it's normally strength 5, strength 6.
Yep.
Right,
and that's been
it's across the fucking board on every. It's in Tyranids, it's in World Eaters, it's in Death Guard, it's in everything, right? Our Orcs, it's in everything apart from Chaos Space Marines, where they're like, you have to be different to normal Space Marines, so we're going to force that difference and make it worse. Mm-hmm. And it just gets my goat. But when you compare Stormcast to Slaves of Darkness, they're actually comparatively the same. Their army rules are different, but their army rules are both good.
Compared to who?
So Slaves to Darkness compared to Stormcast.
Okay, yeah.
Have both got very good rules.
Yeah.
Right? And what I like about...
So that's your equivalent of Chaos Space Marines to Space Marines.
They're both good. Their profiles are good. Warriors of Chaos are actually, like their units, like the Knights, like the Warriors of Chaos on foot, Vanguard, they're all incredible. They're all really good. They're real terrifying units on the table. And what the AoS team do better than 40k is that the AoS team seem to understand how marks of chaos work.
Deeks is in chat, and he brings up an interesting point, which I was going to raise myself, but he's put it in chat now, so we'll aim at that one.
Yeah.
He says Space Marines isn't as strong as CSM. Space Marines just take Horde. Well, I mean, to be fair, the amount of space we can get on the table almost makes it better than CSM because you just get more bodies. But he also says, which I find quite interesting, I'd like to know your thoughts on Blood Angels, what makes Space Marines look good. Because you play, I mean, this is sorry. This is pre-Codex, but you played a ton of times with Blood Angels, and you always said, when you came away from Blood Angels, you felt like you were playing Space Marines with a handicap, comparatively.
Yeah, comparatively. But the thing is, though...
Sorry, chat, by the way.
The Blood Angels index, right, is very important, because the Blood Angels index, I think, is much better than the Codex.
Really?
Yeah.
Because when the Codex came out, you were quite excited by it.
I really like it, and they've got that one detachment that basically...
So gives you all the strats that you want.
It gave you all the strats you want, apart from the one that actually makes that detachment sing.
Which was Fights First?
Fight on Death.
Oh, Fight on Death, okay.
2 CP, Fight on Death.
I would argue, I think Sam's kind of right in the sense that I think that Chaos Space Marines overall are stronger than Space Marines as a whole Codex. If you're perfectly okay, just lean into the meta stuff.
Yeah, I think
that Space Marines... Now, I would argue against Sam and say that I don't think Blood Angels is what makes Space Marines look good. I think Gladius makes Space Marines look good.
Yeah. So
Gladius is the best.
I ran Ultramarines over the weekend. I did 2 games. I won one and lost one. I ran Gladius both times. And running it, I'm like, I'm going to have to start playing Blood Angels and Gladius.
Gladius is the way to go.
It's so good.
Yep.
I didn't touch it because the index Blood Angels detachment was incredible.
Yep.
But now that's gone, Gladius is amazing.
So Jeremy's like, blah, Gladius. From a thematic standpoint, everyone running Gladius, I mean, I still would argue to some extent every Space Marine chapter running Gladius narratively kind of works.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's a bit boring when everyone's running Gladius. And we encourage people, you'll notice when Brom comes and plays Orcs or when we play Space Marines, we try and switch up the detachments if we've got access to more than one.
What I'd like to see...
But Gladius is the best.
What I'd like to see is Blood Angels lose Oath. And the +1 attack, +2 strength becomes their army rule.
Okay. So what's the detachment rule?
So obviously their detachment rule is, I don't know, you get to...
So if you were to go in the Angelic Host,
yeah,
+2 strength, +1 attack, and all the uppy downy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Because uppy downy in itself is terrible. And then I was looking at the Death Company detachment. Death Company detachment only really works if you take Blood Angels, Death Company captains, because none of the enhancements you could put on chaplains, because it's only Death Company model, and the Death Company detachment only works if you've lost models in your unit.
Which you're going to.
Which you're going to.
I don't think the Death Company detachment. So we disagree with the Death Company detachment.
But the Death Company detachment is like Oath is pointless. Because every unit in the Death Company army re-rolls hits.
Yeah.
So you're not getting the benefit of the Space Marine army rule.
We disagree on Death Company detachment because I think Death Company detachment is very good.
Yeah.
I genuinely do think it's very good. And you think it's a bit trash. And you always hate, and Joe's been quite open about this, you always hate detachment rules that require things to be dead for you to get any kind of bonus.
Oh yeah, I don't think, it's like, I've had this issue with the Skullcrusher Stampede as well, is that your unit shouldn't be a negative to gain your army positive. Space Marines get Oath all the time.
On one unit.
On one unit, right?
Unless you're running Gullyman.
Unless you get your Gullyman, right? And then the Gladius, you've got your entire army gets to advance and charge, fall back, shoot, charge, advance, charge, or fall back, shoot.
You don't advance and shoot.
Yeah, advance and shoot, right? So you get all those benefits without having an issue, right? You've got Votan. Pick 3 units on the table. Your entire army.
Can I
get the +1 to hit and wound on
Can I get you one day to run the Death Company detachment with an open mind?
Oh yeah, I'll run it.
Because I think you're gonna.
I'm getting some of the Death Company upgrade sprues or something, so I can add more Death Company units to my army.
I think you'll be surprised at its efficiency. I think it's good.
Yeah. But it's like, but the benefit to that army is you get the re-roll to wound if you've lost a model. But you're re-rolling hits all the time anyway. So at that point, you might as well just run Death Company and Gladius, because then your whole army gets to advance and charge for a turn, and fall back and charge, which are things they don't currently have access to, unless you pay CP for it.
Yeah, maybe.
Like they're even better off in the Vanguard detachment.
I mean, ultimately, I disagree with Sam in chat. I think that the Gladius is the best attachment out of anything Space Marines.
I think it is the best. I think it is the best now.
And we see that in tournaments.
Yeah.
Anyone like people running Dark Angels, Gladius. Like Gladius is everywhere because Gladius is the strongest, right? Yeah. I think out of the 3 Blood Angels attachments, I think the Death Company one is the worst, without doubt.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's anywhere near as good as Gladius, but I also don't think it is terrible.
Yeah, because the Death Company do better in the uppy downy detachment because your Death Company got jump packs, so you can just redeploy them around the table.
I think one of my favourites for the way I like to play the game with the uppy downy detachment, the Golden Host. But anyway, we've diverted a little bit from the main topic.
But because it was about the different things. But it's like 4K cows are hamstrung by having the 4 different legions. I think the problem with the legion stuff is that some legions have lots of units, and some have access to not many. So look at Death Guard. When the Death Guard first released, they got so much stuff. Yeah. So many of their own units.
Can you give me those capsules on the edge there, please?
Yeah. And then they got access to a bunch of Space Marine units on top. Right. So they had access to the Predators, the Rhinos, the Land Raiders, the Daemon Princes, the Vindicators, the Mauler Fiends, the Hellbrutes. As long as their own Terminators, their own infantry unit, their own cultist unit, their own vehicles, and their own characters.
Yeah.
And then World Eater's got 1 character, 2 named characters.
3, Khorne, Angron,
Lord Invocatus. But then Lord Invocatus is also the Juggalo.
It is, yeah.
They've got Berserkers and 8-bound.
Oh, I absolutely think that we're going to see. So no knowledge of this at all. I think we're going to see a bigger release for World Eaters this year.
And then they didn't have access to that many Chaos Space Marine units, which doesn't make sense. I feel like World Eaters is an army that could probably do with jump packs and bikes.
But here's the thing, right? So although we don't solve the jump pack issue, here's the thing. You go down the Demon King route again, you go down the Blades of Khorne route again, you put Khorne Demons in the World Eaters Codex, like Blades of Khorne does in AoS, you solve that first release wave problem.
Yeah.
So you're right? You've got Angron, you've got Khorne, you've got Lord Invocatus stroke Juggler, you've got Master Executions, you've got Terminators, which are not Red Butchers, you've got Berserkers, you've got 8-bound and generic Chaos stuff, right?
Yeah.
which feels like a bit of a harsh deal when you look at, for example, the Death Guard range and the Thousand Suns range. But you realise that the Death Guard range and the Thousand Suns range have been out a lot longer. Yeah. They've had two waves.
But then the Thousand Suns don't have access to a huge amount.
I mean, they've got more.
They've got loads of characters, but then they've got Rubric Marines and Terminators.
Yeah,
and then they've got access to
Zangor.
Yeah.
I don't hate Zangor. I know you don't like them.
After playing Space Marine 2, part of me wants to force Paddy to paint loads of Zangor.
I quite like Zangor.
Yeah, I'm like, get Zangor on the table because I want to play Space Marine 2.
I like the guys on the little discs with the bows. I kind of think that's cool, but that might be the fantasy me coming out. But anyway, with that first release of World Eaters being perhaps not as strong, if you'd have had a Demon Kimbo Codex or a Blades of Khorne style book immediately, I think a lot of that whinging goes away because you suddenly get access to Blood Crushers, deep striking Bloodletters, chariots, you get access to Rend Masters, you get access to Skull Cannons.
And there's no reason why you can't convert some of the demon stuff to have like World Eaters on it. You could have like, is it the Blood Throne? The guy on the big chariot? You could have the big chariot guy with like a World Eater Lord on the back.
And this is where, when I saw the Chaos Lord and Juggernaut kit, which I know was an old kit, and when we used to have Chaos Lords and Juggernaut, I'll sort this out in a second. Yeah. When we used to have Chaos Lords and Juggernaut, they also didn't have a massive stampeding Juggernauts they could join. But my heart was like, I'm excited here. Yeah. We'll get fucking Berserkers on Juggernauts. That's cool.
If they don't get Berserkers on Juggernauts, I would be tempted to get 6 Juggalos.
Joe, honestly, standing up,
and then converting them to be. To basically convert them to be normal, less charactery looking, and then have them be your blood.
You already have access. Narek says you already have access to Khorne demons as well. Yeah, I get it, but you only get 500 points, right? You don't get access to it's hard to squeeze anything more than a Bloodthirster and some Bloodletters.
You go Bloodthirster, you either go Bloodthirster, Bloodletters, or 2 units of Bloodletters and a character.
And some would argue that there is a fair trade-off that by taking 500 points of demons, which your army wouldn't normally have access to those units, you lose out on those 500 points gaining army rules, stratagems, etc. And some would argue that, and that's fair. But we've had Demonkin, we have Blades of Khorne, so there's no reason why you can't have World Eaters Codex with demons infused. And we had things like Angron's and like Red Host in the last edition, which was just like take Angron and anything with the demon keyword, which was 8-bound.
Yeah.
Essentially. And I'm like, yeah, but imagine if that was 8-bound and Bloodletters and Blood Crushers and Fleshhounds. Yeah. That's cooler at that point straight away. And I want those units to have access to a reasonable army rule, right? And I think that's where I think my biggest problem is with allies in general, because I look at the efficiency, and I know perhaps this is where we go down a competitive route, despite the fact that we talk about being Garage Hammer and Beer Hammer. But I look at efficiency and I'm like, 500 points on my army gets no army rule, no stratagems. I could just take more units to get access to army rules and stratagems. I know which one I'm probably going to pick. Yeah. From an efficiency and competitive standpoint. From a narrative standpoint, do what the fuck you want. Of course, it's narrative, right? I hate the idea of fleshing out the World Eaters range with demons. I want to play World Eaters, but you don't have to. So this is the bonus of Demonkin. This is the bonus of Blades of Khorne. Narek, look at Blades of Khorne and AoS. This is why I'm saying AoS does Chaos better. Look at Blades of Khorne and AoS. You can play all humans, no demons. You can play all demons, no humans. You can play a mix of both, and all 3 work. Yeah. And that's what I want. And maybe that's a little bit too much to ask, but it worked in Demonkin. I fucking love Demonkin.
Also, I'm with you in the sense that, up until about 6 months ago, I was a very die-hard, I want my Chaos Space Marine book to just be Chaos Space Marines. I don't want demons. I don't want to ally in demons because I just want my Codex to work, right? Where after running mono demons, my opinion has changed now, because I'm like, I really love Chaos Space Marines, but I know that they're going to struggle as a mono faction without demons. So now I'm at a point where I'm like, I've just accepted it, and I'm actually enjoying it a bit more because now my army can do things that I need it to do.
Yeah.
So for some reason, Games Workshop were like, Chaos Space Marines can't have any infiltrators or scouting units for some reason. And I'm like, where do I get that? So I have to use demons to do it now.
But again, it's a harsh reality that you only
Yeah.
gain that from using demons, and you don't gain any benefits from. I mean, you gain access to the units, which is a benefit.
Yeah, but it's like I have to put like, I don't know, 80 points of Nurglings in my Chaos Space Marine army because I need something that can move, block World Eaters and Tyranids and stuff.
Or Orcs.
Yeah. I need those units in my army just to survive 10th edition, because there's too many first turn charges. So and those units, 80 points, I put into my army to essentially just die turn one.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people use units like that. And again, we're talking competitively here for efficiency purposes.
Yeah.
But I think often people, when they're not playing competitively, it's more feasible to be going, I'm going to take one unit of X because I know that they won't just get murdered turn one. When you're playing competitively at events, you're like, if I put this unit in the open, it'll die.
Yeah.
Like again, I've said this a million times. I look at the way my brother's playing Warhammer right now, and I'm like, I'm kind of a little bit jealous.
Yeah.
Because he's my fucking Terminators walked into the middle of the board, murdered everything they came near, and just stood there defiant. I'm like, yeah, like Terminators should. Competitively, Terminators turn up, dead.
Yeah, but also like Jeremy's said, Castro's going to lose a lot to their Space Marine counterparts. No snipers, no drop pods.
Drop pods.
I don't mind the loss of snipers, right? But what I do miss is the drop pod, because barely anything in the Chaos Space Marine Codex actually deep strikes anymore. Apparently, we just don't know how to use our teleport stuff at all, right? We don't know how to infiltrate or scout because apparently that's only something Alpha Legion can do.
Do you know what would be a cool rule as well, right? Because this I think is essentially what John was using with Alpha Legion for Heresy. If Alpha Legion don't get 25% demons, they get 25% of Space Marine units.
Yeah,
and you get snipers then. Alpha Legion snipers make sense as well.
If Alpha Legion could have access to Space Marine units, it would be absolutely incredible.
25%, though.
Only 25%, but that's also it's narrative because they're dressing up.
Yeah,
it's very similar to their Heresy rule.
And Jeremy says just two examples, but I am a person who plays both. I do go through the Chaos Codexes and the Space Marine Codexes, and I do feel like one of them got slightly more hard done by in terms of options and kits.
And also,
but I also think the Space Marines have got far too much.
What really bugs me about the Chaos Space Marine book as well, because there's many things I don't like about that book, but that's because I'm really butthurt about it, is that, in the index, I was like, Games Workshop understands how marks of chaos work.
Yeah.
Right? And you look at the States of Darkness, index, they know how marks work.
Yeah.
Right? And then the Codex came out, and they're like, only one detachment has marks. There's only detachment where it actually matters. And I was just like,
see, I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
yeah.
Marks, I both love them and hate them. Now, I'll explain. Narratively, love them.
Yeah.
Game-wise, fucking can't stand them. Yeah. Why? Because I stand opposite you and you go, right, so I've got my Chaos Space Marine army here and I've had this experience and the player I played against was a fucking lovely human being and nothing against him whatsoever. Nothing, literally. But he's like, here's my Chaos army and it's like yours, for example. Yeah. It's all painted Black Legion. Cool, okay. That's Mark and Nurgle, that's Marcus Slash, that's Marcus Zinch, that's Mark and Nurgle, that's Mark and Nurgle, that's Mark and Khorne. I'm like, and we start playing and I'm an hour into the game now and I'm like, I'm going to shoot at that. Yeah, but just so you know, I can do this thing because it's Mark.
I figured out a really quick fix to the marks problem and the dark packs problem. I hate dark packs. Right?
I know
because it's an army rule that positively affects your unit, but also negatively affects your unit. Because if you fail it, you lose models, right?
Potentially.
You potentially lose models in exchange for the benefit. What they need to go is at the start of the game, you choose what army, what god your army is aligned to that game. And they get the thing attached to that. So you go, my whole army is Khorne. So I get lethal hits on 5s in combat.
My whole army is undivided because Abaddon's here.
Yeah. So if I do a Dark Pact, then I get lethal or sustained, but I get to reroll ones to hit.
Yeah.
My entire army, Sinesh, I get 5s when I Dark Pact.
I agree.
And they just keep it like that, but you don't have to do a Dark Pact. Or you get rid of the Dark Pact entirely. You go, my entire army, Sinesh, I get sustained hits in combat. My entire army is Khorne, I get lethal hits in combat. I'm Zinch, I get lethal hits in shooting. Right?
I think
And that's more like the Tyranid one then, because the Tyranid one's really, really good.
the Mortal Wounds is harsh, but I feel like the army rule's quite strong.
Yeah, but Tyranids just go at the start of the game, your infantry, I get sustained hits versus infantry.
But on 6s instead of 5s.
Yeah, but you get rid of the 5s then.
Okay.
Right?
I'm into it.
Because then the problem is with the Tyranids one, they get sustained hits all the time in shooting and combat. Whereas if you go, my stuff gets sustained hits on 5s, but only in combat.
I don't know. I still feel like with no negative to it at all, it's very strong.
Well, okay, but so if you look at Tau, like obviously they only get it for like 3 out of the 5 turns, but they get sustained hits too
Yeah.
in one of their detachments. I just think, and like if you go, my armies, or they just take it back to the old one. I mark a Nurgle, I get +1 toughness. If I mark a Sinesh, I get +2 movement. If I'm Khorne, I get +1 attack. If I'm Tzeentch, I get an invulnerable save. If you've already got an invulnerable save, I get +1 to my invulnerable
I liked
save.
that.
That was so quick and easy.
Yep, I liked that a lot. I missed that.
It was simple.
Stick Monkey, thank you. We haven't read through all this stuff, Joe.
Yeah.
Stick Monkey, thank you for the 5. Don't need to worry about splitting between books if everything was an app and you just paid a subscription to each month. Shut up, John. He's right, though. But I don't know. I'm a book whore. Like, I'm a person who, for example, when the Eldar Codex comes out in the new year,
Yeah.
right, we get sent every Codex normally and every Battle Tome normally, and I'm very grateful for that. And when the Eldar book gets released, you know what I'm probably going to do? I'm going to try and order the limited edition one because it's my faction and I fucking love it. And that because I like having the book.
Yeah. If I'm honest with you, Stick Bunny, Sean, Stick Monkey, I like that the app exists, but I prefer the books, right? Because
Oh, I adore the app.
the app is really good for army list making, and it's good for when you're playing the game.
Yeah, here we go. This is where
Right.
I'm with you 100%.
But I hate when next book coming out is Guard, right? When that Guard book comes out, I will read all of its rules in the Codex because I hate learning an army on an app because you can't so basically you go, oh, I've got a character here, he affects these units. So you go, cool, I'll go find that unit, it's there, I can see it, and I can hold the pages, and I can just flick, and I can see it, right? Whereas in the app, you have to go into it, drop out, find it.
I do want people to have the choice of using the app, but I am with you on this one. And when I'm learning the new army, I flick between the pages. Oh, so if I put that on him, that means that.
Or like in the app, if you go, okay, my Cadian Castellan can join Kassakin, Cadian infantry, heavy weapon teams, or whatever, command squad on that list of or what things it can join. And if you press on it, it should just take you to that unit.
Yeah.
And then you go back, and it just takes you back to him.
I also want the app to allow me to drop characters into units. But the app, but strictly, you don't join characters to units until the start of the game. A lot of people don't know this.
Yeah.
A lot of people build their army list and go, that character joins that unit. Well, actually, you do that in the deployment phase.
Yeah.
You don't have, or the pre-deployment phase. You don't have to do that until same with dedicated transports. Anyway, irrelevant. I think the app's great, and I love the app, to be fair, but I also liked, and if I've got a Chaos Demons book and a World Eaters book, I also want to be able to cross-reference stuff. I prefer that having a page open, and be like, and that works. Yeah. Which is kind of irrelevant, I guess, because actually nothing from World Eaters works in Chaos Demons because you don't get any army benefits. But yeah, I take your point. I still like having books.
Yeah.
Erebus, thank you for the 10. I'll say thank you to Erebus. Mm-hmm. The rumours are floating around about demon decks going bye-bye, but if that happens, what happens to Be'lakor? The big change I want is if Chaos take demons, they gain the 40k Chaos army rule of Pact.
Yeah, I think what they do is they make Be'lakor into a. So it doesn't. Be'lakor is a weird one because he is not God aligned, so he's always going to be undivided. So he either needs his own supplement,
like Disciples of
Be'lakor, or he needs to go in a detachment in the Codex. So he then joins the Chaos Space Marine Codex, and then he has his own detachment,
which I don't see us seeing since Chaos Space Marine is already out.
If he joins the Space Marine Codex, which I think he probably eventually will, it won't be until 11th edition. If they do what people are suggesting that they're doing, where the gods go into their own specific one, what might happen is the Chaos Demons go into the Chaos books, and then Be'lakor gets his own index and a carry over into the new edition, and then gets his own supplement.
I don't know. I don't know what. Yeah,
because
There's a lot. There's a lot of undivided. There's a lot of undivided units that exist though.
Yeah.
Soul grinders.
Yeah.
Demon. They got rid of the Furies, didn't they?
Yeah, but
Furies,
the Furies are still in Age of Sigmar.
Are they?
But that's because they're a Warcry unit now.
They got rid of them out of 40k, didn't they? They lost
Yeah.
them out of 40k.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know.
And
Thanks to Tenor Erebus, and thank you for the 5 gifted memberships.
You know, we were talking about word bearers.
Hang on, thank you, Erebus.
Thank you, Erebus. I hope that the idea that I'm about to pitch to Liam pays off.
Is there hope for him?
It is because he likes Erebus, right? We talked about a narrative campaign a long time ago because a box set came out, an army that you wanted to build, and you got both of them because you were going to do word bearers,
Oh yeah,
right? And we were going to try and do a narrative because that's when I started my Eldar. We're going to do like a cool narrative
yeah, we were going to, yeah.
thing, right? Do you reckon we should do that bit in reverse now? So you do the Eldar, and then I do the word bearers.
Maybe.
And then, because we've got the Chaos units, might as well use them.
We've got lots of Chaos units.
Yeah.
You wait to see the 3 boxes of stuff that's in my boot.
So I've got and I want to do all the legions eventually.
It's a firm maybe to yes.
Yeah. Because I think I could probably smash together a cool word bearers army.
I am, however, excuse me, I'm suffering right now. I am, however, currently very much enjoying the painting, and I'm in the groove, and I'm very aware that groove can drop at any minute, and I'm hoping it doesn't, and I'm doing everything I can.
We just need to get you over 3,000 points of Eldar, which isn't hard.
Well, it's been years.
Yeah, but I've already started to make a dent in it. You know?
Yeah, I've seen that you've painted them the base is the same colour as well.
Well, yeah, because
so all I've got to do is take them home and varnish them the same.
Yeah. Because I've got 20 Banshees there, Janezar, and 5...
10 Scorpions.
I've got 5 Scorpions painted. I've got 5 Scorpions at home to finish. And then I've got Malgan Ra and 10 Dark Reapers to do.
A campaign, though, is a pre-recorded thing.
Yeah, we could do that.
It's not a live thing.
What time? We don't, but...
We don't have the time, but we could probably make the time.
And then
I'm not against it.
Yeah.
But I need it to be... I don't want it to be a typical YouTube campaign, which is just, here's a bunch of games. I want it to be a campaign.
Yeah.
So you need to get your best narrative brain engaged as to how it's going to work.
Because
when we did Champion of Chaos, it was a beautifully simple mechanic that anyone could play at home that made it very exciting all the way through.
Yeah.
So, I'm not against the idea. I think that's not a bad shout, but let me get a bit further ahead of I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm getting very excited about my painting right now. So I painted my painted Farseer that I did yesterday. I posted that in the Thames 4 times already because I'm so proud of it.
Yeah.
I need you to see it in person, Joe, because it's so fucking good for me. The photo makes it look shitter than the actual model in person. 100% without doubt.
I might end up doing, I said I was going to do the Ultramarines over Christmas, but I might end up doing that Eldar terrain.
Well, the Eldar terrain also helps with the narrative campaign.
Yeah.
And then
I need to get my big Chaos wheel done, the Stargate.
If we do it in my Craftworld colours as well.
I think Eldar terrain has to be bone.
Wraithbone, yeah. But we use the Wraithbone colours I'm using, which is very simple.
Can I just spray paint them?
Yeah, it's Andrew dust.
Yeah.
And then you just line in Agrax in the recesses.
Yeah.
You're done. Maybe a bit of dry brushing or edging with, I think it's a Ushbati I use.
You're not going to edge highlight that tray. It's fucking huge.
No, you just give a brush over all the big high edges, don't you? It's really easy.
And it'll be right. And then, I think and then...
I'm not against the concept.
And then I've got the big Chaos Stargate too. I want to get the new Slaves to Darkness Chaos bits, because I feel like there'd be a couple of them placed on the table.
I've definitely got a somewhere. World. I might need to take some bits home today actually, but I've got in there a Webway Gate.
Yeah.
And a Revenant Titan.
Yeah, I had an idea for him actually. The Revenant Titan.
Broken one or the unbuilt
one? The broken one.
Okay, what do you do with him?
I'll turn him into terrain.
Please do.
Yeah.
I have bad memories from that Revenant Titan, so... Sean, thank you. You've just pushed us over 50 gifted. We'll get to that in a minute for your hope.
Yeah.
We're 54 gifted now, chat. If you're feeling generous, there's half an hour to go, and I'm dying here just for your entertainment. Anyway, Erebus, you might get a campaign: Word Bearers versus Eldar.
Yeah.
I like the idea because I'm kind of gently wandering down the Ynnari lore route, and I'm kind of interested in it.
At home, I've got some unbuilt, unpainted Gal Vorbak, unless I gave them to you.
I've not had. No, I wouldn't have touched them.
So I've got some Gal Vorbak at home, potentially 10.
I've got those 2 Chaos box sets.
Yeah, and I've got Wordbearer doors for the Heresy Rhinos.
We've got some Heresy Rhinos. I think we've got 2.
Yeah, they're in my garage now. I took some. I took some home. And then
we've got a Chaos Warhound.
Yeah,
that could go Wordbearer-y.
Well, no, I'd probably do its own colour scheme, but it can go in any.
Titan Legion. Yeah.
And then we've got, but at my house, I've got loads and loads and loads of Heresy models, as in like Legionnaires, but I've also got loads of Chaos Space Marine bits. I get some Wordbearer bits, so I can just make a really cool army of Wordbearers.
I am looking at the Ynnari narrative arc, which I quite like, because I'm kind of, the colours I picked from my craft world are based on Viking, right? Because you know me, and my avatars like axes, and my Wraith Guard are all axes, and stuff like that. I like the idea of this dying craft world being laid siege to Wordbearers who are using the. We can come up with a narrative. Anyway, that's not for now.
How would you do Wordbearers in AoS?
Which units would you run?
I probably wouldn't do the Oath Bound.
That'd be really interesting, actually.
I'd use Chaos Warriors, the Knights, Varan Guard, loads of Sorcerers.
It'd be quite interesting to convert all the legions into AoS.
Yeah, the Sorcerer would be good. Demon Princes.
Yeah, Ynnari's my fave, Lou. And also, what I noticed with Ynnari is, if I build my craft world as a Ynnari craft world, essentially, if I just run them as craft world Eldar, I can still run all the Phoenix Lords and stuff and be like, yeah, they're Ynnari. If I actually want to run them as Ynnari, I then unlock access to all of the Drukhari stuff, with the exception of homunculus covenants. Do you know the only thing in Drukhari I don't like? Homunculus covenants. I don't like them. I like Draz, I like Lilith, I like Witches, I like Incubi. You can take all of them in Ynnari.
I've always had a bit of a soft spot for Talos.
I'm not a homunculus covenants fan in general.
I don't like Rax.
No, I don't like Rax.
I don't like Homunculus. I don't like the Chrono jobby.
But Ynnari, although you lose Phoenix Lords, you get access to basically everything Drukhari, everything Harlequin, everything Craftworld.
Don't you have to take an Eldar unit for every Drukhari unit?
No, that's the old rules. You're limited as to how much you can take.
Okay.
Maybe that is still the new rules, actually. I don't know. You are limited. You can't take more. I can't remember how it works. But anyway, I like the idea of talking about allies. And here's the other thing, right? This is where Eldar now, if we look at Ynnari, Eldar now arguably have a rule that does allies better than Chaos Demons and the Chaos Space Marines.
What I really want from the Guard Codex, bearing in mind we don't have the Guard Codex, this is all speculation, wish listing. And I've said this many times. I doubt they'll do it, but I really want them to do it. I want one of those detachments in the Guard Codex to be a Chaos Guard. The detachment changes your keyword from Imperium to Chaos.
I'm here for it.
And then you can take 500 points of any Guard unit, apart from maybe Scions and Kassakin.
Addendum must have stuck spikes to it.
Yeah. So it means that if you're a Chaos Space Marine player, maybe you just get a shorter list, right? You go command squads, like Castellan kind of people, infantry squads, heavy weapon teams, tanks. You have access to all the tanks, because there's no reason why you wouldn't have access to all the tanks. You get access to Rough Riders, no Scions and Kassakin, because they're called like elites, aren't they? That's like, you get Oghren. Yeah. They used to do Chaos Oghren.
Do they?
But Forge World used to have Chaos Oghren.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like you should still have access to those. You obviously don't get access to the named characters. But I think that I always go back to this, because this is my golden period, was the 13th Black Crusade in 5th edition, right? You managed that you could take Traitor Guardsmen in Chaos Space Marines, and if you're an Iron Warrior, you could have Basilisks.
Yeah.
Right? Make Basilisks great again, you know?
Erebus says, give me Dark Mechanicum. Here's the thing. When Joe says, GW don't know what to do about Chaos, I kind of link this in. Like, Why don't we have Chaos Traitor Guardsmen? We've seen a couple of kits over recent years, but that's it. Why don't we have Dark Mechanicum when we've got the Adeptus Mechanicum?
They're just sat on large part. What's the thing is though, is they like if you re-released the Space Marine Heresy units, but you released a smaller amount of them into 40k again. So you allowed the drop pods, you allowed Leviathans, you allowed Contemptor Dreadnoughts. It's like printing money at that point for them. Because what annoys me is that no one that plays Chaos Space Marines is using the Chaos Space Marine Predator or Vindicator kit, are they?
No, because the fucking Heresy one's nicer.
Because the Heresy ones are stunning, right? A lot like Blood Angels players now are barely using the Blood Angel Bile Predator because the Heresy Predator makes a nicer model.
Yeah.
Right? Like Chaos players are using Spartans as Land Raiders because they look better than... Well,
I've got a World Eaters one at home, and I built a Spartan instead of a normal Land Raider because I think it looks cooler.
Yeah. The biggest travesty was getting rid of the Khitan and the Brass Scorpion.
Oh, those definitely never in the Heresy, but now they're Heresy.
Yeah. I'll go for an angry...
I still think...
I'm going to go for an angry wee. You need to carry your voice for a minute.
Why are you doing this to me?
Because I need a wee. Otherwise I wee in my panties.
Please don't do that. My voice is knackered.
You'll be right.
Chat can just gift a whole 46 members whilst you're going to the toilet so I don't have to talk. Just watch a sea of green come up now. Yeah? Yeah. Why do the Chaos Marines who lived 10,000 years ago, who have lived through the Siege of Terra, unable to pick up a slab of concrete and use it as a shield? True. 30k Protest Land Raider is much better. I think the 30k kits in general are just nicer, though, aren't they, on the whole? I really hate that. Here's another reason why I think they get Chaos so wrong in 40k, is that when you look at these mirrored units that exist in Space Marines, that now exist in Chaos Space Marines, Predators, Rhinos, etc., Vindicators, what you get is you get a 40k kit and a sprue of spikes. And that really irritates me. One of the things I like so much about, for example, the Demon Engines, or we look at the Death Guard have got like the artillery tank, which name escapes me right now. My memory is not great at the moment. The one, you know what I'm talking about, chat. And they look very Chaos, and the Death Guard one specifically obviously look very Death Guard. And then, here's a Chaos Predator. It's just a Predator, stuck some spikes on it. Like, GW, with your model design and with your production quality, surely you can come up with something Chaos that's more than a sprue of spikes stuck onto a Loyalist Land Raider or a Loyalist Predator. It really annoys me. Lots of Dark Oath. Wordbearer is all about that religious conversion life. The Dark Oath are meant to be your crop of fresh converts. Dark Oath are my favourite. Dark Oath are my favourite from the AoS Chaos stuff. Plague Blast Squads, thank you, Voidable Mage, I appreciate you. He thought he was a thong guy. Well, I mean, he wears panties, but on him it looks like a thong, is where we're going. But yeah, this is another way where I think that I think AoS gets Chaos better than 40k. Like, you can't just give me a Land Raider with spikes and then go, there you go, Chaos Land Raider. Because it's not the same.
It's not.
And it looks wank.
Also, right.
I'm glad you're back. I was struggling then.
Right. What bugs me the most, Space Marines have access to the Repulsor Executioner, the Impulsor, the Rhino, the Drop Pod, the Land Raider Redeemer, the Land Raider Crusader, Thunderhawk.
With an F.
Yeah. And those are all transports with a transport capacity. Chaos have Rhino, Land Raider.
Yeah.
And the Land Raider is transport capacity 12. And the Redeemer is transport capacity 14. But one thing that really bugged me, right? In a Land Raider Crusader and a Land Raider Redeemer, you can fit 12 Blade Guard and 2 Captains. I know it because I do it, because I'm one of those people. In a Land Raider for Chaos Space Marines, you can put 5 Possessed. Right? A Space Marine fully decked out in Primaris gear with a shield almost the same size as his body. Right? And you can have 12 of those, plus 2 characters holding these shields. like it's the most defensive land raider in the universe. Like, but a possessed only counts as more.
Don't Chaos have that big drill thing? Not anymore.
No.
All legends, we man.
Yeah. Oh.
Demo Gorgon, thank you for 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you. I hope that. You get snow this weekend.
What if he doesn't want it? Tough, that's your hope.
Tough, that's it.
Okay, cool.
Everyone wants snow. If you don't like snow, you're dead inside.
Tank, yeah, no, thank you for the 1 gifted membership. Brandon,
Yeah.
thank you for the 5. They reduced the Deathwatch to just a few units and everyone kicked off, so we've gone back on it already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, like, reducing things to nothing, I think people are right to kick off.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're very selective about what things they do go back on.
Yeah, I still think people, when a whole range gets nerfed, so GW are the victims of their own actions. So when they go back to Deathwatch and they go, we're actually going to make it an Agents of the Imperium Codex and you can take Deathwatch kill teams in your armies. Narratively, I'm going to throw this out here, narratively, correct. Right? Narratively, I have no problem with what they did. What I have a problem with is, here's this thing that you can do for a number of years,
Yeah.
a number of editions, in fact, and people will go out there and spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds because we are mad committed to building our armies and spending a fortune on plastic. And some of us will have a sea of plastic at home and be like, yeah, but I really want this kit. Despite the fact I haven't built everything at home, I really want this kit. I'm guilty of it, you're guilty of it. And we buy these armies, and then we spend, some of us, Joe more than me, typically, hours upon hours upon hours building and converting and painting and getting it all looking uniformed and getting it ready to go and list theorying, etc. And then when GW come out, and it might have been 6, 8, 10 years down the line, and they go, you do all of that stuff null and void now, people are right to be pissed off. GW shouldn't have given the option in the first place.
No.
That's the problem. Once you've given the option, it is all. Once you've allowed something, it's significantly more difficult to go back on that decision and not allow it anymore.
I think, like, what's worse is, this is where Age of Sigmar has done it better. When Age of Sigmar said that units were going into Legends, they did it a couple months before the edition dropped, and then and they said you've got an entire year of playing with these models, and they are valid competitively. After the year, they are full Legends. You'll still have the rules, but we won't support those rules. You can carry on playing with them, but you know that there is a shelf life to this unit.
Yeah.
Right? A week before 10th edition dropped, where we were allowed to create content for it, Games Workshop said, all Chaos Forge units gone.
Yeah, it was shit.
All Heresy units gone. And you're like, cool.
Oh, I am a fucking absolute GW slut. I love GW products. I love the games. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. The excitement I've had recently about painting those models it's peak for me.
Yeah.
The 40k team in recent years have been, this is going to affect the monetization, I don't care, an absolute pack of cunts.
Yeah.
And they have, I'm sorry, but they have been.
Because I felt sorry for, because there's so many people going, 10th edition is coming, the rules look really good. I believe everything they're saying, that this game has got less re-rolls and is less killy. I believe all the things they're saying. It sounds really exciting. I can't wait for the new codex. I can't wait for the new index. Can't wait for the new rules. I'm going to buy some models for my army ready for the new edition.
Yeah.
You know?
Give me more options.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm going to buy a Khitan from Forge World. I'm going to splash out and maybe get myself the brass scorpion I wanted, right? And then they receive it and they build it. And they received it, opened the box, built it, and then Games Workshop announced that week. Well, of course, like, cool, I can't return this to Games Workshop now. Here's
where it's a step further as well, Joe.
Yeah.
The year before 10th edition, they released Horus Heresy 2.0,
Yeah.
right? And not only did they release Horus Heresy 2.0, but they market all Horus Heresy 2.0 kits as usable in games of Warhammer 40k. In fact, for over a week after they dropped that article saying that you can't use Spartans and shit anymore, it still said it on the website, usable in games of Warhammer 40k.
Yeah.
So they literally marketed it as usable in games of Warhammer 40k.
Yeah.
It was marketed that way.
And then they released the Cerastus Knight range, which are Horus Heresy models
But
in
you can use those
40k.
in 40k. Because guess what? They're 120 quid a model.
Yeah.
We'll sell those. We'll sell more of those.
Everyone loses their heresy units, apart from custodes.
And knights.
And knights.
Yeah.
But the custodes have none of those units in any of the lore whatsoever.
They market it like a child would. We meant 100%.
Yeah.
You cannot, if you open the gates and let people do things, you have to expect kickback when you shut those gates again.
So obviously we've talked in the past about how Games Workshop inside is podded, isn't it? You know, it's all
siloed.
It's siloed, isn't it? As you call it, it's the siloed, right? So 40k models can't be used in AoS. AoS models can't be used in Old World. Old World models can't be used in AoS 40k. Right? Everyone has to stay in their lane and just be there. But they're not.
Do you think this is why there's rumours about them losing the Demons Codex in Warhammer 40k?
I don't know, because
they don't want you to be able to buy an army that you can use across 3 game systems.
Well, you can use them in 40k, Horus Heresy, Age of Sigmar, Old World.
Oh, Demons in Old World as well?
Demons are on Old World, yeah. So they're on all of them. But they don't like that. But they do, because you're buying the models. It's like, you look at City of Sigmar currently, all the dwarf stuff and all the elf stuff is usable in Old World. All the dwarf stuff got repackaged into Old World models, but you can still buy them in both.
But again, like you said, the way that the AoS team communicated it, whether you I don't like taking options away from someone, but sometimes as a business that has limited space and capacity to produce models, they're going to have to take some things off of production, take some things away. And I don't like it, but I accept it. The way that the AoS team did it, significantly higher amounts of class than the way that the 40k team did it. I felt there was a lot less backlash. There was some backlash. And I don't know if that's because 40k is a bigger system than AoS, and I'm kind of more into the 40k echo chamber than I am the AoS echo chamber, so it might be that the backlash proportionately was the same.
Yeah.
But for me, it felt like it was less for the AoS one. I think it's because most people went, I've got a year. I've not even got a year. I've got a year where I can use them competitively as well.
But the thing is, the stuff that they got rid of made sense. Because they're not saying... So, when they go, we're getting rid of Beastmen, or we're not getting rid of Beastmen, we're still selling Beastmen for a small period of time, and then you won't be able to buy them, and then they're going to Legends after a year. And people kicked off. You're getting rid of Beastmen, right? But the only reason people are Games Workshop getting rid of Beastmen is because no one's buying them. Because if people were buying them, Games Workshop would get rid of them, right? All these people, it's like the one of the chambers for the Stormcast.
Sacrosanct.
The Sacrosanct.
The Sad Croissant.
The Sad Croissants they got rid of. But they probably got rid of it because it was probably the one selling the least.
Keith says, I think AoS players tend to be a bit quieter and less angry in general. I mean, they do seem more chill overall.
Yeah, so I think
100% they seem more chill.
All these people complaining on the internet, how many of them were actually Beastmen players? It's like I was genuinely upset about Forge World getting rid of the Khitan and the Dreadclaw drop pod and the Drill and the Brass Scorpion because I'm a Chaos Space Marine player. So I was kind of justified in the fact that I own these things, I've spent money on these things, I've spent time building and painting these things, and now they've gone away, right? So I imagine there are a lot of Space Marine players who don't have those things that weren't complaining, didn't give a shit. But there might be some people that were complaining on my behalf.
Yeah, maybe.
And I was like, meh. I just wish, but at the same time, how many people were buying Khitans? But the fact that they didn't get, they're still, I would have been less upset if they stopped selling them.
Rather than going, they're a Heresy unit.
Yeah, we're going to continue to sell them.
Yeah, fuckers. Linus Experiment, thank you for 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you. I hope that your local shop starts selling the McVitie's Digestive Gold Bar biscuits. They're banging.
I do like those.
I hadn't seen them until the other day. I ate a whole pack in one night.
I'm sure you did.
Because they were
Thank
delicious.
you for the 5 gifted man. Thank you for the 1 gifted Smeg for Brain. What a great name. Electman, thank you for the $5. Here's my take. Fold all demons into mono-god legions, put Be'lakor in CSM, and give CSM rules to let them soup demons like Rubrics, Berserkers, etc.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
That would be fine, I think. But the problem is, if you're an existing demon player, it's a bit feels bad. This whole situation, the biggest problem Games Workshop have about rolling demons into a specific god is if there's no mono god, or if there's no mono demon codex, it's a bit poo. Because what if you don't have enough demon models to make a mono god army? Say, for instance, if you've got 500 points of each, you're 1,500 points off of every single god legion for making that army.
Yeah, reasonable.
So you have to go, I either sell off 3 of the gods to pay for the rest of the models, or I have to real knuckle down and just paint one god range. And also, the god range, the demon units aren't equal. Like so the Tzeentch demons mono army is not as powerful as the Khorne.
I also think that GW are manipulative fucks.
Oh yeah.
And what I mean by that is someone's put in here. My biggest problem with 40k is that GW took away all the heresy stuff and are killing Firstborn. So let's talk about Firstborn for a minute in Space Marines, right? How many Firstborn units have got good rules, good abilities, like really good abilities comparatively with their Primaris counterparts? Almost none.
No.
Maybe a couple, but almost none. So what they've done is they've gone, and I think this is done on purpose, and maybe I'm just being a bit negative here, but I think this is done on purpose. This is with me fucking tinfoil hat on. I think they go, right, we made a cock up here. The Primaris narrative was a cock up. We should have done what we did with Chaos Space Marines, just scaled up the range.
Yeah.
But you know what? You can use your Firstborn Marines, it's fine. We're just scaling up the range. What they did is this bullshit Primaris nonsense, right? And I think we made a cock up here. How do we now phase out the old kits without complete meltdown from the fan base?
Yeah.
Well, tell you what we'll do. We'll give them dog shit rules. And in 2 editions' time, we'll be like, no one's buying tactical squads. No one's buying devastator
squads. So
squads.
what's interesting, right, is that they're also kind of like Primaris exists, but at the same time they're not really talking about Primaris at the same time. Right? Chaplains now, librarians now have 4 wounds each. Which is weird, right? Because in the previous one you had Primaris librarians 5 wounds, normal Firstborn librarians 4 wounds. Same for chaplains. So Primaris chaplain had 5, normal had 4, and then the same for the captains as well. Situation. Whereas now they've all got their Firstborn stat line, like Lamati's Firstborn stat line, apart from his attacks are bigger. Same for Mephiston and stuff. So there's people that haven't crossed the Rubicon where their models just been scaled up now, and they're just
what they should have done in the first
they're just big boys. But so my friend Dan ran Firstborn assault marines as assaulted as jump packs because that's just what they are. You can still use your Firstborn models. Yep. You're not restricted to use them. It confuses the shit out because all of his posts like, what are they?
But what they're going to do is they're going to say, no one's buying them, we'll take the kits off sale. That's what will happen eventually.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, Tiberius says, I wish I had $1 for every time you said GW is fucked. We've never said GW is fucked. They do nothing but make more money.
Yeah, basically, we're close to saying GW has fucked up is probably the closest to what you're going to get to in this situation.
They fucked up a lot
by doing this thing. This is not it's not negatively impacted their sales.
Oh yeah,
because
they're categorically not fucked. Just have to look at their trading price.
Yeah, like they are making stupid money. Like they are doing better than any other models company in the world.
If you had $1 for every time we said they are fucked, you'd probably have maybe $1.
Yeah.
Smeg for Brain, we've done that one. Evan, thank you for the 1 gifted, you're a legend. Whitey55, thank you for the 1 gifted, you're amazing. Khorne Ed, the Ed who was cornated, he gifted 20, Joe. 20. That's mad generous.
Yeah.
That we are currently on 54 if you wanted to hit target in 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there, just saying, out loud.
I hope that next time you're in a charity shop, they're selling a giant gold chalice with diamonds on it that you could drink mead out of and take it to tournaments and be like, this is my blood chalice. I drink mead and red wine out of it. Or you can call it a pimp cup.
After the Amazon TV series drops, it will double, triple. If they do it well, 100% it will, yes. Absolutely. If they do a Fallout job on it, yes. If they Rings of Power it, I still think it will grow, but I don't think it will grow as much.
If they Rings of Power it, the people that play Warhammer will hate it, Not everyone. Some people will just watch it because it's Warhammer and they'll enjoy it and it'd be great. But a lot of them will hate it. And people that don't really know Warhammer will watch it and still find Warhammer entertaining.
I controversially, as a Lord of the Rings fan, where I'm going to get slandered here now, I didn't hate Rings of Power.
I've not watched it.
I didn't hate it at all. I thought it was all right.
I've not watched it.
And it wasn't great, but...
I've not watched it. I can't, and I'm not going to complain. There's things in it that I've seen that I don't like.
Yeah, same.
But I'm probably just not going to watch it because I don't want to spend the time watching it on something that might be poo. So I'm watching Arcane at the moment. Yeah. Well, actually, I'm going through Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I've never watched that before.
Yeah.
But I've seen loads of clips on TikTok. I liked what it looked like, so I was like, I'm going to watch that.
On Thursday, sat on the sofa dying with David, I finished watching Band of Brothers to the end, which I watch every time we get close to Christmas, because, you know, it's like a Christmas series. It's got snow in it. And then, on Sunday, I started Band of Brothers again.
Nice. Every time I get ill, Gladiator, Black Hawk Down, Band of Brothers.
Yeah. But hot take, I had to buy Black Hawk Down because Lucy's never seen it.
Oh, it's so good.
But hot take, I didn't think Rings of Power is that bad. It's. I would go as far as to say it's enjoyable. It's just not necessarily exciting. Like you can sit and watch it, and it's fantasy, and it's Rings of Power. Season 2 is better than season 1. It's okay. It starts to gather some more momentum in season 2. Season 1 it lacked a bit of momentum.
I think the biggest problem that Rings of Power has is that the original Lord of the Rings trilogy was made.
Of course.
Right?
100%.
That is
the Hobbit's problem as well.
Yeah, that's the only thing that stands in The Hobbit and Rings of Power's way, is that the original trilogy was made. And it was brilliant. And it was perfect. And you can watch it now and you could assume that that film was made a year ago. Because it's such great quality. There are a slight few CGI drops bits. But like, if you've ever seen Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness, we can't complain about CGI because that was terrible. But it was great. Whereas 40K world, we've got CGI 40K episodes. We've got the one coming out on Amazon soon. We've got Warhammer TV, Warhammer Plus, and obviously we've got the stuff that people have made in their bedroom. And some of that has been incredible. What we haven't had is live action. And I think that the thing that 40K has as its benefit is that a lot of the lack of better words is that Lord of the Rings has got a diversity problem, hasn't it? Some people like the diversity that they've included, some people don't. And that's their own opinion. We're not going to go into that political nightmare.
Let's
right?
not.
We're not going to go into that. So that's the problem that they've got. Whereas 40K doesn't have that problem.
Here's the thing that annoys me, right? I'm going to touch on that political problem slightly, actually, myself, Jay.
Yeah.
For fear of being cancelled. I don't like the diversity changes that they made to Rings of Power.
Yeah.
I would like it to stay true to Tolkien's lore.
Yeah.
But I also don't care enough that they have. It doesn't impact me at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any difference to me whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I often feel like the people that get really strung up on it, I'm like, is there a deeper problem here? Because I don't like it, but it doesn't actually make any difference to me.
No.
And if it means a whole other raft of people get into Tolkien lore now, good.
Yeah. It's like, what I think a lot of the problems come from, right, is that it's the same reason that like the Marvel's getting into and stuff. And it's like, it doesn't matter. It's just a TV program. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Go and watch something else.
But also, you're right. But also, make up your own mind. Don't listen to other people.
Yeah, like always watch something. There are things that I haven't watched because like sometimes if you listen to the internet is the worst place you go to if you talk to your friends about it. But sometimes the volume on something being so bad is so loud, I have avoided it. Like The Acolyte, right? And I've seen how. But what's also like, I've seen how the people that made that program react in real life and how they've done interviews. And I'm like, I don't like you in the interview. I'm not going to like you in your TV program.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Whereas like you've watched things like the guy who plays the ghoul in Fallout, all the interviews he did great. Ella Purell, whatever.
Who played the lead.
Always great in all of that stuff. All the programs I've seen are done, great. So I'm like, Fallout's going to be good.
Fallout was fantastic.
Yeah.
Fallout was a win. But I didn't hate Rings of Power. Yeah. I'd always say just make up your own mind.
Yeah. Also,
honestly.
Announcement that's been made by Amazon, and I'm really excited for it because I don't think they're going to have many problems, is because I think they'll do as good a job on it as it is Fallout. Is Mass Effect is getting its own TV series?
Is it?
Now. Yeah.
I don't know Mass Effect.
It's so good.
I never played the game.
It's so good. I would skip number 1 and go to number 2 because number 1 has not aged well. If you played the first one when it came out, you'll be happy playing it now. But I think if you went back and played it now, it'd be terrible. But it's got action. It's got politics. It's got passion.
Yeah.
You can go around and find your favourite big booby alien lady.
Yeah, I'm sure you
and have
can.
sex
Yeah.
with her,
Yeah, there we go. That's what Joe cares about.
yeah. You can romance your favourite person. It's great. You could choose who lives and dies. And you've got like and what's good about Mass Effect is you've got a paragon scale, so good and bad. So depending on how good and evil you are, affects voice line options you can have. Mm-hmm. What sometimes it's just bad paragon, punch people in the face. Like I've done with this conversation, punch in the face.
I'd say to you, just give Rings of Power a try.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, just stop watching it. People's need when they don't like something to go to the echo chamber that is things like Twitter and just rant is interesting. Sam Deacon, thank you for 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you. Where are you? You're there. I hope that you find a really nice coat to buy for this winter that's like waterproof on the outside but looks nice, soft and fluffy on the inside, but you don't get too hot in it. I've got a really nice coat that when I put it on, if it was snowing last year and it was waterproof, but I was sweating my balls off on the inside. I was like, this is the opposite of what I need. I want to be comfortable, not dying.
This is still not comfortable. Thank you so much, Sam, for the 5. Hope you like a nice coat. Erebus, thank you for the $10. Joe, try being Tau, one of the best shooting races in the universe, until there's a second target. Spitfire penalty is absolute shit and destroys any unit with multi-weapon systems. RIP Storm Surge. This is where you were complaining about Dark Packs.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. This is where that
It's your
comes
fault
from.
for playing Tau, isn't it?
I mean, it's fair though.
I feel sorry for the storms. I do feel sorry for the Storm Surge and like the Riptide and stuff because they're the 2 cool big units that Tau have. They were really, really fucking good in 8th edition, and then Games Workshop's hitting them repeatedly with a bat since 8th edition. They're like, no, you were too good. We sold too many.
Well, it's just weird. The army rule for guide and guided is always very, very strange with those because they literally are built as kits that are multifaceted in terms of their weapon systems. So they have weapon systems that can deal with infantry, monsters, and all sorts. And they're like these big fucking battle suits armed to deal with everything. Wait, you want me to shoot at everything? Oh, I can't hit them now.
Yeah.
Can't do that now.
Also,
I'm an advanced alien battle suit with advanced targeting systems, and you're going to tell me what to look at. But if I split fire, probably won't hit anything.
Can we talk about the rip-off of the Town Christmas box set?
Is it a rip-off?
It's not a rip-off in terms of if you bought those models individually from Games Workshop.
So you make a saving.
So you make a saving. But for 150 quid, you don't... It's the perceived... Because if you compare that to the Dark Angels one, I thought the Dark Angels one is much better value for money if you want to start an army. You've got the Lion, you've got 2 units of Terminators, and you get the 2 units of Bladey dudes. Whereas if you do Tau, 1 Commander, Crisis Suit, Broadside, and a Riptide. And you're like, that's like 500 points.
Yeah.
I was just like, meh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not a good box set.
Maybe. Stick Monkey, thank you for the 2. If only someone gave you a campaign aid recently.
No one's given me a campaign aid recently.
We were given one on the Thanes weekend.
Were we?
Yeah.
Oh, I never saw it.
It's in here somewhere. And then thank you for the 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Sean.
This is when you were talking about the Eldar Word Bearers campaign.
Oh, yeah. I'll ignore it and make my own one, don't worry. I hope that... I hope that you have a family of badgers come and eat in your garden regularly. And you feed them cat food.
Nice, okay. Yeah. Kaz, thank you for the $10. My daily only fix of AoS, brain dump, Etsy store that does Chaos Land Raider editions is Chef's Kiss. Also, did you know those Daemon Princes are only Slaves to Darkness, not Blades of Khorne, Head Knights of Slash, etc.? Edion Crons. Edion Crons, yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he
But
said he
then-
handed it to you. He said he literally handed it to you. The campaign aid. This is what I work with, Sean.
No, you didn't. Was it a book? Was it a piece of paper?
This is what I work with.
What does it look like? You know? I got the... Nah.
Anyway, yeah, it's Eddie's on Crons tonight. I was going to run into him with Dark Angels. I'm struggling through this stream right now. Joe's offered to play with Demons. I really want to play Eddie, so it might be that I rebook him in next month or the month after so I can actually get to play him. Because I haven't played him for like a year.
Because I was supposed to play Adam with a Demons list on Thursday, so I could just use that Demon list I didn't get to use.
Yeah. So we'll see what he turns up with and we'll go from there. I'm currently struggling, and it might be, I don't know if you can tell, it might be that I sit on that comfy chair if you're okay with it.
Yeah.
I could play Paddy on Thursday, probably. We'll see how I feel. I'm just dying at the moment. Honestly, I feel like
the
I
Death
should get...
Corpse of Krieg box set is coming this Friday. Have you heard this?
No.
I mean, if it was being released on Friday, we probably would have had it by now, and we haven't. So no.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Because they're doing the thing on Saturday, aren't they? Is it 5 o'clock on
There's
Saturday?
an announcement thing on Saturday, isn't it? Is it Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's England time, isn't it, for once? We'll talk about that on Thursday's Liam and Joe show, what we'd like to see.
Yeah.
And then what we'd like to see is the same things we said we'd like to see last time that we didn't see. But yeah, Kaz, Slaves of Darkness not... Demon Princes of Slaves of Darkness not...
The Chaos
Khorne.
people don't have their own demon. They're Demon Princes.
I kind of don't hate that, but I don't know.
Right,
It's hard, isn't it?
can I say something?
Yes.
This.
Well, hang on, is it racist?
No.
Then you can, yeah.
When I'm done with the channel, it will be. Right, whether I believe it or
You'll
not.
know when Joe's leaving.
Yeah. Right. Can I be controversial
Yes.
now? Right. All Demon Princes are garbage now.
For
Their points. For
in AoS.
not in AoS, in 40k.
I disagree.
I think they're incredibly beautiful models. They're just not worth their points.
Friday, 6 p.m. Look.
So Friday, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was something you could talk about on Friday night, isn't it?
Well, we'll talk, no, because we can talk about it on Friday night. We won't because it's after dark. We talk about normal stuff and drink mead. Apart from at the moment, I'm on orange squash because
You'll get in before Valrak and every other Instagrammer and YouTuber on the planet.
I don't like Joe. I don't play that. The reason why the reason why our sub growth is in the fucking toilet is because I don't play the YouTube.
Don't
game.
worry. As soon as that 20 minutes into that stream, all the pictures from the stream will be on every single Instagram.
Yeah,
page
it means
and YouTube.
what it means is the weekend I won't be looking at Instagram.
Yeah.
Because it fucking does my head in.
I just think Demon Princes now.
Look
are
at this new
stand-
model from GW. Yeah, you and every other fucking creator have posted
I
that
just
same
don't think that.
photo.
I just don't think they're worth the points. Like, you never really see them in armies unless people take them ironically. I love Demon Princes. I want them to be good and worthwhile. But you put them on the table and they just kind of die.
The foot one
and
and
they don't do much damage.
the foot one and World Eaters with half all damage, I really rate.
You have to give them an enhancement.
You do, yeah.
So you only get one half decent-ish. Okay.
Yeah, but Joe, so here's the thing, right? So again, if we're talking competitively efficiency based, well, we know that when we find a good unit, we spam the unit. That's what people do. I don't want to take more than one Demon Prince in any Chaos army.
Right, so if you look at Chaos Space Marines now, right, in the Pack Bound Zealots detachment, you take a Demon Prince because you make him Marcus Sinesh, and you give him a 5-up Feel No Pain, and he's all right. And then the other detachments, he's just not worth taking. There's no real enhancement. There's like one that you can give him like a 2-up.
Hey, chat.
He's already got a 2-up armor. So.
Chat, we're 10 members away from 69.
Yeah.
I
just don't think that they're...
I don't know. So model-wise, they're fucking gorgeous.
I want one. If I was making a Chaos Space Marine army, I would want one in every list I write.
Because they're cool.
Because they're cool as shit.
But
I just don't think... you put them on the table and they just don't really do much.
I like a foot World Eaters one, but then I like a foot World Eaters one because it offers that invulnerable buff, right? So, but again, I don't want to see a person who runs a foot Demon Prince and a winged Demon Prince, or maybe 2 foot, because I'm like, no, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see, like, I don't like. I'm not taking nothing away from you. I don't like lists with 2 tank commanders, 2 Cadian Castellans. I don't like lists with 3 Chaos Lords, with 4 captains, 1 on a jump pack and 3 normal ones. I don't like it. I don't like those lists personally.
But if you look at
from a competitive standpoint,
Yeah.
100%, yes, that's the way you should build your army for max efficiency. I'm here for it. I think that makes sense. My Eldar list has a single Spirit Seer, a single Farseer, a single Autarch.
Yeah.
Because I don't want fucking 3 Farseers, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that.
I just look at it as AoS rule. In AoS, he does suffer from being only -1 rend.
I think that's so bad in AoS.
He's damage free, so he's like bonk.
Yeah,
But in AoS, it's not bad because most stuff has got a 3-up or a 4S save.
Yeah, there's very little in the way of 2-up, isn't
Yeah.
there? So
But I think I just feel like a Demon Prince should be able to go into a unit and just wreck face, you know. They should still be killable, and they shouldn't be flipping knights and stuff because they're much smaller than a knight. But you want them to be able to go in and like kill some Terminators, you know.
people are saying treat them like the Avatar, make them 1 per army. Well, this is what they did in the previous edition with things like captains and chapter masters and stuff like that. And I kind of liked it, to be fair. Thanks ADL Wargaming for 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Adam. I hope that next time you go and play at Lord of the Rings event, you win all your games.
Oh, strong.
I
But now you won't know, Adam, if it's your skill or Joe's hope.
yeah. Either way, it's winning it.
Right.
I think the problem now with the 0-1 issue that they have in 10th edition that they didn't have in 9th edition is that characters in 10th edition are underwhelming unit upgrades.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, before, when a Chaos Space Marine captain gave a 6-inch aura reroll once to hit, or a chapter master which gave reroll all hit rolls in an aura, that was a worthwhile 0-1. You know, it was an Abaddon.
It was arguably too powerful, though.
It was too powerful
Faces.
because he was just a big. You just created these massive walking fortresses, but that's where the game changed, where it meant that your army had to spread out and go and do things.
Well, this is also where AoS does it better. Yeah. AoS does auras better. Wholly Within.
Yeah. Wholly Within doesn't normally involve rerolls.
But it just does auras better.
Yeah.
Be Wholly Within.
Yeah.
So with 40k, what you had was a captain or a chapter master with 6-inch rerolls to hit, or reroll ones to hit.
Yeah.
You just had one model within half an inch of that aura. Everyone gets it.
Yeah.
No. Not in AoS. Wholly Within. Does it better. Facts.
Yeah. Or the unit he joins gets all the benefits and the buffs. But not all characters are built equal. It bugs me a bit.
Gremlin Death, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Up to 64, Joe.
5.
With 36 away.
I hope that you have fish and chips soon, and the cod, the batter, is perfectly crispy, golden brown, and you don't get that horrible kind of like soggy bit in it.
Oh, I like the soggy bit.
I hate it.
Especially when I can scoop it into a pot of hot curry sauce.
Could have fish and chips for dinner.
I think if there's one locally. Oh. And if there is one locally, I'm not
How
sure.
is there not one locally? We're in Southampton.
Yeah, but to get delivered, I'm not going anywhere, Joe. I don't want to go anywhere.
True, yeah.
But you have to be delivered to me, and then I'd have to trust that it's actually fish. And the local food places, it's probably like stray cat.
They're just going harpoon a homeless man.
Yeah. That's why the front of our door's been empty.
Yeah.
Thanks for the 5. And then Sal, thank you for the 5 Canadian. Here is a controversial take. Word bearers are the best legion, and Erebus is their best character. How would you build word bearers in Age of Sigmar? I think he asked this earlier, but he obviously didn't hear the response.
Yeah, so
go, Joe. So word bearers is the best legion, and Erebus is the best character.
I would say that Erebus is the best character for word bearers.
Yeah.
Out of all the one, like Law, I don't like Lorgar is a bit of a dweeb, and then the other no, I really like Argyle Tal.
We know you do.
Argyle Tal, a baller, but I don't like Heresy word bearers because they're a bit too like mustache twiddling kind of
Comedic bad guys.
Eddies, you know. Just like I just feel, I know I love Eddie. I just feel like in the Heresy, they're just like the MacGuffin bad guy. They're bad because they have to be bad.
Yeah.
Like all the things that happen. like I feel like they suffer from orc syndrome, right? Because in 40k, word bearers, how they've written them in the books, are terrifying. Evil, malicious, like evil just kind of like seeps off them in a mist, you know, and they're proper true edgelords. Like they're super terrifying. The Dawn of Fire series, if you read it, like the word bearers in it are incredible, terrifying monstrosities. In the Heresy, they're a bit too cartoony bad guy.
Yeah.
It's like with orcs, it's like in 40k, orcs are stupid, drunken football dweebs.
Unless you read The Beast Arises.
Right? And then in AoS, they're actually terrifying monstrosities. So I think I really like word bearers in 40k because I feel like 40k's done them better.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see some of the characters now step into the limelight in 40k because they're knocking about. Like Corferon's active in 40k. Lorgar is like they're all active in 40k. Just that we haven't got the models for them. I'd love to convert a really grim word bearers army, like all maces and cleaving weapons. I'd have to really dip into the Horus Heresy weapons upgrade.
Oh no. How convenient for you.
It'd be horrible, wouldn't it?
It's such an awful place to be.
It's life to lead. I listen. The thing is, though, I really want to push a bit more into my Night Lords as well. Mm-hmm.
Here comes the list.
I listened to the Night Haunter Primarch novel. It's great. It's really, really good because his story is like proper bittersweet because he's like evil Batman, but he's also really sad because he is justice, but his legion went bad on him, kind of thing. But the story's really great because it's basically him sat in a room talking to a massive meat puppet that he's made into the Emperor, and he's talking to this meat puppet that sometimes talks back to him. It's great.
I'm into
Great
it.
book. It's just before he gets killed as well.
So how do you do word bearers in AoS?
In AoS, so I would probably go Chaos Warriors on foot, Chaos Knights for Vanguard.
I'd nail Dark Oath as like cultists. I would.
I wouldn't use Dark Oath. I would use one of the Warcry warbands. Either you've got the Corvus Cabal, the bird masky people. They're like quite grim and like I think word bearers you want to go for that real sinister look about them. You've got them. Oh, where did I put my phone? It's there. Hang on. Bear with, because there was a Warcry warband that I really liked. Where are you? Games Workshop, right? Not with a W. Games
Workshop.
Because they've just moved the Nurgle Warcry band that came with the weird fingery tentacle trees. They've moved those over into the Glotkin people. Is it more?
You heard that out there, Jay.
Yeah.
I won't fucking sell ice creams at that speed, will he?
Or the ambulances. Warcry. Where are they? Hang
That's
on.
that new book you've got to read, isn't it?
Wah. You've got the Jade Obelisk. I think they suit. I think they suit them quite nicely, actually.
This is
You
just
seen
Joe
the Jade
Limited.
Obelisk?
Shopper list now. It's all right, isn't it?
They're really nice.
I mean, I think for sake of ease and especially for cheap, I'd go Dark Oath for cultists.
I think they
Dark
look.
Oath are
I think they look
gorgeous.
too, but they are really, really beautiful models. I'm not taking
So
that away
pretty.
from them. I think the Dark Oath just doesn't fit word bearers. They're too they're too Viking-y. The Mind Reader Sphinx, great model. The big cat with the licky tongue.
But what's being Viking-y? They're also therefore covered in runes, which is very word bearers.
Yeah, but there's too many like.
He's not going to fucking let me have this
Furs.
one.
I'm not going to let you have that one.
He's not going to.
I just don't. They don't fit the aesthetic They're too barbaric.
Yeah.
I'd look at the Warcry warbands, Vanguard. I really like Abraxia. It's just a personal choice. I just absolutely adore the Abraxia model. Demon Princes.
Yeah.
Sorcerers. I'd really look at you might like them, but I personally don't. I don't like the multi-part Ogroid kits. But the Ogroid with the Khorne one and the Tzeentch one they did are really nice models. They're really nicely sculpted.
Yeah. There's lots of super sexy chaos stuff out there for AoS, actually, to be fair. I was looking through some of the ranges the other day.
Electman, Jade Obelisk are a Tzeentch kit, but Word Bearers aren't specifically God locked. They're all gods.
They're undivided.
They're undivided.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I just think that their aesthetic fits the kind of sorcery, demon-possessed kind of look. They're a bit more...
Yeah, so he's not about specifically using that unit. He's about using them as a thing, right? Anyway, we are 20 minutes over because Joe's here and he likes talking about stuff. I'm glad, actually, because you've saved my voice a bit.
Also, Electman, the Vanguard are aligned to Archaon, but all the Vanguard models are God-aligned.
Yeah, but we're not. It's not about the narrative, though, are we? It's about what would look good as word bearers.
Yeah,
and kind of.
They'd all look banging in that evil red and silver scheme.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with you. Right. Anyway, we're 20 minutes over, and I want to go and just lie in the corner somewhere and sob.
That's why I told you we needed a bigger sofa, and you were like, nope.
Should we just turn that end of the studio into just like like places like Google have got these massive like beanbag chill areas.
Oh, I would kill a man for a beanbag sofa / chair. I used to have a beanbag bed for a while.
I got to stop spending money though, Joe. I've got a tax bill coming and life's getting fucking expensive. So as proxy, as proxy, that one. 100%, you get it now. Right, cool. Anyway, so we're gonna go. We also need to get food and let Eddie in and decide what's going to happen tonight. So the plan was that I play him. I'm struggling sat here. It might be a bad idea that I stand in front of the camera. I might book another date in with him today and then throw you at him tonight with your demons list if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
As long as you think you can be done by 10:30 because I want to go to bed already.
I
already want to go to bed.
Smashy Eggman with giant.
Yeah, pull his pants down. So thank you for hanging out this day. Hope you've enjoyed the show. If you have, make sure you hit that like button for us. 115 people have already done that. You're amazing. Thank you so much. It's free. It costs you nothing. Thank you so much for gifted memberships. We've got up to 64 of the finest gifted, you beautiful human beings. But we have got a live game of 40k tonight. I'm sorry it's not AoS. I am sorry, but I'm also sorry we haven't had Eddie on for ages. And I had to work out...
Yeah, Eddie can only do Tuesday.
Childcare reasons.
Yeah.
His missus works Thursday night, so he's got to look after his little one.
And a babysitter's got to bring him here.
Yeah. So for childcare reasons, Eddie can't do Thursday, so we've got him in tonight so that we can just have him here and playing a game of 40k because we've missed a little goblin. So he'll be here tonight with his Necrons, and if we see Eddie coming, then we are gonna have him in playing 40k because he's just no AoS at the moment anyway. So it's 40k tonight. It's Necrons versus either demons or Dark Angels. It depends whether I feel like I've got the energy. At the moment, I'll warn you off. I probably haven't. Tomorrow I'm back with the 40k show, the Warhammer show. Wednesday. Thursday, then another Liam and Joe show. We're going to talk about the previews on Friday, what we would like to see. Then a live game of 40k in the evening where Paddy is back. I don't know what he's bringing yet. I don't know what the armies are going to be. And then Friday, we've got 40k After Dark, just after the reveal show, where I won't talk about it because I don't give a fuck. I just want to drink some mead and chill out. And it might
Super chat loads that force him to talk about it.
And if I feel like this, it might not even be mead. It might actually literally be fucking orange squash as well. Tiberius, thank you for the one gifted. You're a legend. Up to 65. You hero. What a fucking dancer. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with us, you wonderful wonderful people. Excuse me. I usually find my fucking buttons so I can say goodbye, Joe. Hang on.
Yeah.
Here we are. We're here. You're amazing humans. Hopefully we'll see you tonight. If we don't see you tonight, then we'll see you in the next one.
Well, what time?